Carpe diem, seizing the day for Canadians as we age.
Welcome to Carpe Diem. On this episode, we're going to delve right into healthy eating. What we put in our body has a direct effect on our mood, energy, and overall health. Good nutrition can boost immunity, fight illness-causing toxins, keep weight in check, and reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, and so much more. Along with physical activity, a balanced diet can also contribute to enhanced independence as we age. It was about 14 years ago that I stopped eating out for basically every dinner and started cooking. The updated Canada Food Guide also encourages us to cook at home more often, so I'm right on trend. Regrettably, I didn't pay attention to my mother when she tried to teach me her amazing skills in the kitchen, so now I'm learning any way I can. My desire is basic. How can I make simple, nutritious meals? And I've learned that some of the best ingredients are also the simplest. For example, eggs. They're a whole and unprocessed source of high-quality protein. It's important that older adults get enough protein to build and maintain muscle and to keep healthy immune system. After all, eggs have been eaten by humans for thousands of years. So let's go to the kitchen and learn a couple of really easy egg recipes. We're finally in the kitchen with Patricia. Hooray. This is my favorite thing to do, is learn about food. Let me ask you, what are the most popular ways to eat eggs?
There's honestly endless ways to eat them, and everyone has that favorite way. Scrambled, poached, definitely popular. Once you know these techniques, the sky's the limit on the number of recipes you can make with them. We're gonna basically scramble up an egg with some peppers and cheese in it that we're gonna roll up in a quick breakfast burrito. Just get the 2 eggs in there, and we're gonna use our sophisticated whisk again here, our fork, and you can add that milk as well.
So how much is this?
That's about 2 tablespoons with 2 eggs. You can use any kind of milk you want. Stir that up quite well. Once that is stirred up, you can add in the chopped green pepper, and then just to taste, you can put in a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to give this a quick little mist with cooking oil spray just to reduce the stick-to-itiveness, and yeah, just pour the whole thing in.
Ooh.
You just turn it down to about medium-low. And then all you do with a scramble, just kind of lightly move it around, give it a go. I know you got this. This is actually a really nice point, Carmen, to leave it on there and sprinkle on the cheese. Oh. Yeah, just sprinkle that on and spread it around a little bit. So we can take it off, and we're just gonna put it into our whole wheat tortilla here. We'll put in a little bit of salsa. Voila, if we slice it, if you wanna grab a plate, there you have it.
So how do you properly poach an egg?
We first of all want to get our water to a simmer. The key with poached eggs is to not only have your water simmering lightly before you start, but to use cold eggs. We're going to crack our egg into a little saucer. The whole egg just goes in there. Perfect. You want to get the bowl nice and close to the water, and then just slip it in there really gently. But yeah, you just leave it in there for about 4 minutes. The scooping out's important, right? So you don't destroy your masterpiece.
Beautiful. The perfect poached egg.
Turned out pretty good.
No fancy gadgets.
None.
Water, cold eggs, easy as can be. For these recipes and so many more information and tips, and of course how-tos.
Eggs.ca is fantastic.
Bon appetit. It's perfect. I had so much fun doing that. My snack is a boiled egg with a touch of Himalayan salt. That's it. It's a protein hit that lasts 4 hours, and usually the snack I have before taping this show. Honestly, I'm all for the best quality ingredients with the minimal fuss in the kitchen. So when we come back, we'll be talking about another one of my favorites, wild BC salmon.
Still ahead on Carpe Diem.
I do eat salmon as much as I can possibly get.
Oh, love it. I used to fish for it all the time.
If I know it's for dinner, I'm not all that thrilled about it. But after the first couple of bites, you know, it's like, this is really pretty good.
Carpe Diem, seizing the day for Canadians as we age.
Welcome back. Healthy eating is a lot more than just choosing healthy recipes. It's about choosing natural ingredients that are packed with nutrition. According to a Canadian fisheries study, the most popular variety of fish among Canadians is salmon, with 2/3 of consumers eating it at home in the past 6 months. Here in BC, we're lucky to have a bounty of wild BC salmon. I had the opportunity to speak with a group of experts who know everything there is to know about this delicacy. But first, let's hear what you think about Canada's most popular fish.
I do eat salmon as much as I can possibly get.
Oh, love it. I used to fish for it all the time.
Yes, I do, but I have to say I don't eat a lot of salmon.
You know, wild salmon, as I said, it's natural. Like, you know, it'll give you more benefits to your health.
I'm an aspiring vegetarian. Okay, full disclosure, I eat salmon. I eat fish.
Put it in a pan in the oven with some lemon and lemon pepper and a little butter on top, and away you go.
If I know it's for dinner, I'm not all that thrilled about it. After the first couple of bites, you know, it's like, hey, this is really pretty good.
Oh, I usually bake it, or I cook it with our famous soup, which is sinigang sa miso.
Yeah, that's a Filipino soup.
Yes, that's good.
Dane, consumers have spoken. They love salmon.
And can you blame them? I mean, I think it's the perfect food. It's an environmentally friendly food. It's a healthy food, and it tastes great.
And I'm always trying to get my clients to eat 2 servings a week of fish. They all provide you with those omega-3 fats, which are known to improve your heart health, they lower triglycerides. The omega-3s are broken down to end products that aren't very inflammatory in our body, and they have a lot of health benefits. So include fish in your diet so that you can have more of that calming effect.
I'm just thrilled that everyone knows what a salmon is. It's what we as stream keepers use as a hook, and we bring in people because they love salmon. So we can say, you love salmon, here's some of the ways that you can help protect and preserve them.
No, it's good. And Dane, you spend your life promoting salmon, catching them, retailing them into the best kitchens in the world.
We do. We started out selling our fish locally, and one chef spoke to 3 chefs, and each of those chefs spoke to 3 more chefs, and before too long we're now selling BC wild salmon into Michelin-starred restaurants in markets like Singapore and Hong Kong.
Yeah, and I love the fact that we can just go to any market and buy it off of the cooler or the freezer.
Well, we have access to the best salmon in the world in BC because of our management and our production systems here.
So, okay, you're the expert in salmon. You have it around you all the time. What's your, give us a recipe, an insider scoop.
I got to tell you, people ask me all the time, how do you prepare your salmon? Yeah. And when I'm on the boat, I've obviously got access to the best and freshest salmon in the world. I put it in a pan, I put salt and pepper on it, and I'm done.
And for friends, what do you make for friends?
Well, my wife does that. She's a little more adventurous and a little more creative than I am, and I know that one of her go-to recipes is one that we found some time ago, where you use a combination of maple syrup and bourbon to make a glaze for it.
Well, actually, my favorite way to cook things, though, I think is even a tad easier than his. I phone my friend and say we're having potluck, and he brings it on an old family recipe on a cedar plank.
Oh,
he cooks
that's
it really
very
well.
traditional.
It is.
So I think the key message really is that as a consumer, you want to have 2 servings a week of fish as part of a healthy diet, so you get the benefit of the protein, which we know Zoomers, people over 65 need.
And I think it's the perfect food. It has low carbon footprint, requires no arable land, is free from pesticides, fertilizers, and other degrading chemicals, including antibiotics, and tastes great.
Yeah. And there's so many varieties.
We have, of the 5 species, each one has a completely unique taste profile, different fat content, different coloration. So there's almost an endless number of options for people who want to try salmon.
I eat a lot of salmon. My no time to cook recipe is simply a little drizzle of olive oil, sprinkle of salt, and into a 450-degree oven for about 12 minutes or so. It's important not to overcook it. No matter how you eat it, fresh, frozen, or canned, it's packed with nutrition. Just make sure that what you're buying is wild BC salmon. Of course, not all of us eat meat or fish. So when we come back, we're going to be talking about a natural, plant-based powerhouse, legumes.
Still ahead on Carpe Diem.
The act of soaking actually starts the germination process. So now these seeds that are dormant then becomes young plants.
Carpe Diem. Seizing the day for Canadians as we age.
Welcome back. We're on a quest to find out all we can about healthy eating. So far, we've looked at how eggs and salmon are nutritional superfoods. But what about plants? In August of 2019, the International Report on Climate Change issued a report encouraging us to reduce our meat consumption and eat more grains, vegetables, fruits, and legumes. Fortunately, these foods are some of the best things we can put into our bodies. Legumes in particular are an incredibly nutritious and affordable substitute for meat. Beans, lentils, peas, chickpeas, they're all delicious and packed with healthy protein. I had a chance to speak with nutritionist Julia Fung, and it's all about legumes.
Legumes are actually filled with minerals, packed with fiber and protein. It's really great for people that are vegan, vegetarian, plant-based, because this is primarily what their diet looks like. It's really important for these people to realize that actually there are anti-nutrients in these types of foods. So think of it as like a protective layer around these seeds. These protective layers, these anti-nutrients, when we eat it, we actually are not able to assimilate a lot of the nutrients from it just because of this protective layer around it. So a way to combat that and really release those amazing nutrients from these types of foods is by soaking and sprouting. So when you're soaking, for example, beans, the act of soaking actually starts the germination process. So now these seeds that are dormant then becomes young plants. So when you actually create and start this germination process, you're actually kind of expelling or creating all of these nutrients that are within these seeds itself. So when you eat it, you're getting a lot more nutrients from them. So we're seeing, a 30% increase in protein, over 100% in insoluble fiber, which is really, really important, especially as we age because of diarrhea or constipation problems that we often see. So it really, really packs a punch in terms of really soaking and sprouting and increasing these nutrient densities in these foods.
So I've heard about soaking. I know that, in Europe, we eat a lot of these beans and garbanzos and things like that. So you soak them overnight. Now you're going one step beyond. What do you mean by sprouting?
So you start the process by soaking first overnight, and that really starts the germination process. But you take that one step beyond that, and you actually sprout it. You rinse it a couple days in water, and then you drain it. And you do that process maybe 2 to 3 times a day for about 2 to 7 days, depending on what you're trying to germinate and sprout. And then what you will get is the seed with a little tail at the back. So this is when you know that it has been sprouted, and when you know that this is really packed with the nutrients and it's become a small little plant with lots of nutrients and protein and fiber for you to uptake.
That's amazing. And that can be cooked like the recipe calls for.
Exactly. So one thing to really caution though, for elderly people or anybody with a compromised immune system is that these sprouts are best to be eaten cooked. Sometimes people like to eat them raw, but it is because it is you germinating it and it may be some bacterial buildup. So you really don't want to take that risk of getting some type of infection. So making sure that you're eating them cooked. You can, really cook them the way that you normally do. You can also make them into a paste, spread it on your sandwiches, crackers, vegetables. You can top them on top of your soups, making sure that they are cooked down first though, adding them to stews, really anything. It's so versatile and it's really packed in such great nutrients.
There you go. How to eat well on a budget. There's no excuse not to eat well other than just perhaps the fear of cooking, right?
Yes, fear of cooking, but you know what? Cooking healthy can be so simple, and I know that everyone can do it.
Yeah, I'm learning how. So thank you, Jolia, for your good advice, and I look forward to more.
So there you go. Sprouting is highly recommended for maximum nutrition from the humble legume. My father's favorite lunch is a bean dish called alubias a la montañesa. It's a specialty in our Cantabrian province in Spain. Not sure if I could convince him to sprout, but I bet you it would be better for his digestion. After the break, my colleague Dean Atwell and I are heading out to the coastal waters, and we're going fishing for spot prawns.
Still ahead on Carpe Diem.
That's what it's all about, right? This is what all the noise is about. All the frenzy. That little guy right there.
Carpe Diem. Seizing the day for Canadians as we age.
Welcome back. I love spring in BC because our days get longer and it doesn't rain as much, and it's spot prawn season. For years, BC spot prawns have been popular delicacy at the top restaurants in Asia, but only recently have we been able to buy them for our own kitchens. Now, spot prawns are not only delicious, they're also low in saturated fat and are a great source of iodine. Now, your thyroid gland uses iodine to make thyroid hormones, which help repair damaged cells and support a healthy metabolism. In BC, about 2,500 metric tons of spot prawns are harvested annually, with about 65% coming from the waters between Vancouver Island and the mainland. My colleague Dean Atwell and I had the opportunity to hit the water and learn how this local treasure is caught.
Here's a special one. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 spots on that guy.
Today, we're here off the beautiful BC coast with Organic Ocean to learn a bit more about spot prawns. Joining me is my colleague and videographer, Dean Atwell.
We leave False Creek Fisherman's Wharf next to Granville Island every morning about 6 a.m. We're back in around 1 p.m. with hopefully a load of big, beautiful spot prawns. And what's super cool is a lot of the restaurants we supply these prawns to, you know, they're 10 minutes from the dock. So they can actually tell their customers with a straight face, the prawns we're eating at dinner were in the ocean 3-4 hours before that. And that's pretty cool.
That's a proper jumbo-sized prawn. Proper.
There you go, Carmen.
Oh, there's crabs in here.
We got a little jellyfish on the top here. Very little bycatch, and you do get bycatch like this little apelio crab here. You just throw them back, and this little bullhead. Watch them swim away. Spot prawn fishery is very sustainable in that regard. Very sustainable, very minimal bycatch, and when you do catch it, it survives.
They start out as males and transition to females over the course of their lifespan. So when you start to pick up more males, that means the spot's getting younger and you need to close it down.
That's a Tuesday morning stinger. That's a red jellyfish, and it don't feel good when it hits your skin.
You ever been hit by one of those? A couple times.
Many times.
Basically, all of his muscles are down in here. That's the part where you're eating. That's all the flesh is. Yeah. And so if you grab their heads.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Come on, you gotta grab one at least. Grab one, grab one. Grab his head up here.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. In the bucket.
Oh!
This is what it's all about, right? This is what all the noise is about. all the frenzy. That little guy right there. You're gonna have your breakfast
raw?
straight up.
Okay. I can taste the ocean in there. It's so sweet. I've never had that before. That's a first. I would do it again. Captain Steve, I would do that again.
And what an incredible and delicious experience that was. You know, Captain Steve Johansson was one of the first commercial fishermen to bring spot prawns into BC markets. And thanks to him and his colleagues, we can now enjoy fresh, local, sustainable prawns every spring. So there you go. In this episode, we've learned how you can add eggs, salmon, prawns, and legumes to your diet to stay healthy and treat your body right. If, like me, you want to maximize flavor in your meals, get quality ingredients. And I eat a very healthy and natural way because after years of eating out, my body just needed a break. And years ago, I stripped my diet down to simple, natural foods, and the change I felt in my body was truly remarkable. I felt lighter, healthier, and was able to finally kick the tums. And that's the show. If you'd like to see a conversation happen here, please get in touch. And remember, as our CARPe president, Moses Neimer, always says, the best way to keep going is to keep going. So carpe diem and seize your day.